Hey Aquarius, thank you so much for joining us at 3 Rabbit Tarot for your weekly reading for the week of February 14th. We're going to be pulling a bunch of cards here to get an idea of your general energy going into this week, as well as any challenges that you'll be facing, and then also a little bit of advice on how to overcome those challenges. Starting this reading, Aquarius, we have the King of Swords card. I think last week your reading was all about kind of really powerfully overcoming a toxic family. And these readings are a little timeless. These issues that you're facing right now are not going to be resolved in 1 week. So I think that right now you could also kind of go back and watch that video as well to get a vibe for the energies that you're going through or the challenges that you're going through right now. But if you are kind of like cutting off toxic family members, I can see you maintaining a very powerful position right now. You've like set up like these clear barriers with like the King of Swords card. You're like wielding the sword. You're setting up those barriers for yourself right now, and you're just like not budging from your position. You're sitting on your throne in your power right now, Aquarius. But here you're a little bit conflicted on how to move forward, though. I think that you have we have the High Priestess card. This is going to be about you really just kind of like a little conflicted about how to move forward. Like you've already cut off these people, you know? So you're like, now you're in a position, maybe it's been weeks or months you haven't talked to these people who've been like really kind of messing up your life for a long time. And now you're kind of like stuck. You're like, okay, well, what do I do now? Like, do I lend them some olive branch at some time? Do I like reach out to them? Like, do I cut them off for a year? Do I cut them off for like a month, or for how long? And you know, nobody can really say, I can't tell you what to do in this situation, Aquarius. Nobody can really tell you, because like only you really understand and know these people, Aquarius. Let's go ahead and like dive into this a little bit more. Here in your recent past, we have the Death card. So definitely you overcoming some challenge right now, and the challenge is like those toxic people. Like you've turned over a new leaf. The Death card doesn't necessarily mean somebody has died. It can also just be a kind of like a card of revolution and restarting things. So you're ready to like restart, rebuild some kind of new family for yourself. And you're again wielding like that Ace of Swords energy going into like this new part of your life, this new chapter of your life. So I think that you're able to really draw a new family towards yourself right now. And like also like one of the other readings, you should check out your sun, moon, and rising, because one of the other readings had like a pretty similar situation where it's like, okay, you've cut off people from your past and now you're able to like rebuild, but there might still be some things from your past haunting you right now. Or not even like things from your past haunting you, but you're just not sure how to move forward right now, Aquarius. Here in your area of external factors, we have the Two of Cups cards. So you're definitely willing and like open to new people coming into your life right now, which is super positive to see. Because sometimes like when you cut off like toxic people from your life, you can be a little traumatized from that situation. It might be hard to be open to new relationships with people, but I see an Aquarius who isn't in that situation right now. This Aquarius here is like really strong and kind of understands like what they expect from people now. And so you're able to build much healthier relationships with much healthier boundaries. And then also here in your area of the subconscious, we have the Ten of Wands card. This is like you, I think that the strain, there's still like the strain of like walking away from these people right now, because you're kind of like burdened with like what's gonna happen to them basically. Like, do they think I'm a monster for leaving this relationship, from like walking away from the family? Do they think that like, are they talking shit behind my back right now? Or like, what if something bad happens to them? Are they gonna tell me? Like, what if like, you know, one of these people that I walked away from, what if they go into the hospital and nobody tells me? I think that that's kind of like a little bit of like your worries right now. Like it was good for you to walk away, but at the same time you have like some like hesitation because you're not like a bad person, right? Even though like maybe they are selling that story to you, they're like gaslighting you and saying you're such a monster, you're such a terrible person, but you still kind of care for some reason. Maybe you shouldn't care though, Aquarius, to be honest. Here in your area of advice, we have the Knight of Swords card. So really just kind of maintain those barriers and those boundaries. I'd say like don't really open up and establish new channels for communicating with these people if you just cut them off. Because if you cut off people, Aquarius, they're going to be livid and angry about it and like not let it go very easily. So if you like reopen a door, you're really reopening yourself back to like conflicts with these people and new conflicts where you're going to be scapegoated as like the worst person ever because you walked away, right? Here in your area of external factors, though, we have the Nine of Pentacles card. You really just like this great amount of abundance right now. I think that right now, like, you can grow like a new family for yourself. You have like, you can really sow the seeds to build a new family from friends right now, Aquarius. So don't feel too dissuaded about like these people from your past. Here in your area of hopes and fears, we have the Ace of Pentacles card. I think sometimes when you walk away, you're just worried about like new opportunities. Basically, you're worried that like it's gonna set you back in some way. Like, what if you end up needing help? Like, what if like you're down on your luck and then nobody's gonna help you, right? But I don't think that that's necessarily true. I think that like you're stepping into a new phase of your life, Aquarius, where you're gonna have friends who come through for you. So I wouldn't feel too worried about that. Just kind of keep the door open though. Keep the door open for those new relationships and for those new people to come into your life, because that's gonna be your new tribe, like your new family, basically. And here in your area of an outcome, we have the Emperor card, really strong card to end on, Aquarius. You're just like in a good spot right now. I think that if you can kind of like maintain those barriers and maintain those boundaries between you and like those people who are like really toxic in your past, it's gonna allow you to step forward into like a really powerful position. You're gonna be able to build a much stronger version of yourself. And just remember, Aquarius, like you can always go back. Like, if these toxic people from your past, if you cut off like toxic family members, if they really do love and support you, if you end up building yourself up and then you come back around to them, they'll have the door open for you. But if they are toxic people, then they won't. So don't worry too much about it. But just kind of build up your own tribe here, Aquarius, is what this whole reading is telling me. And Aquarius, here at the end of the reading, we're going to be pulling 3 cards for 3 yes, no, or maybe questions. So if you want to pause the video and think of those questions, we're going to pull 3 cards. Aquarius, for your first question, I have a yes. For your second question, I have a maybe. And for your last question, I have a no. So Aquarius, if this reading resonated with you, you can go ahead and check out your sun, moon, and rising. Also, thank you so much for joining us, and also like this video if you haven't, subscribe if you haven't. You can also follow us on Instagram, where we post additional content, and we also post stuff about our rabbits, who I don't think has been in this video. Nini is like a little camera shy, so I think next week I'm gonna switch things around. So Chi-Chi will be in your reading, and Chi-Chi is way more active, but Nini's not too happy to be in readings, I think. So Nini's kind of just hanging out here off to the side. But thank you so much for joining us, Aquarius, and we'll see you next week.